Roger Christopherson here again with another first listen review. This one I was kind of looking forward to. I know it's been coming out for a while. It's the new one by Neal Morse called The Dreamer, Joseph Part 1. I kind of figured this was going to be a concept album because he just did Jesus Christ the Exorcist here a couple years ago, and he had one Sola Gracia a few years ago, and then of course he's did a few with Spock's Beard. And actually it's funny, the way I came to know Neal Morse was through Spock's Beard album Snow, and so I knew what kind of to expect, I thought. So after listening to this one, I'm not even sure if I'm the right person to review this, but I guess the reason I'm going to is because I'm a Neal Morse fan. So if you're into Neal Morse and you want to know what kind to expect, this one's a little different. It's still got all of the traits that Neal Morse has of his prog stuff. He definitely has all the intricate workings and the little intricate stuff that goes on. As he's over time, you get to hear, especially when somebody puts out this much stuff. He puts out tons of stuff. He's got so many projects, it's unreal. He's got a certain style, lots of people do. So when you hear him playing, you hear his songwriting, you just kind of know it's him. He's got this certain modes he plays, there's certain types of fills and runs and stuff he plays, even though it's like extremely progressive a lot of the time, just very identifiable. So that's all here. Although there's a lot of weird stuff that gets thrown here, a lot of choir going on. And of course there's different singers taking on different parts of the role. He takes on the lead role of Joseph, but we also have Ted Leonard on here singing, which I believe he's worked with before. I can't remember what album it was, but there's so many projects he does. And then we have Matt Smith, Talon Javid, Jake Livgren, Will Morse, Mark Progue, and then they do like a chorus type thing in the middle with his prison guards. Matt Smith, Mark Pogue, Will Morse, Gabe Klein, and Chris Riley all do that. And there's a choir thing going on here in the middle somewhere where it's got a lot of female background vocals going on. The Vanderbilt Blair Children's chorale is in here. Mary Biddlecombe sings on one of the tracks. There's a lot of guest vocalists on here is what I'm trying to get at. And the instrumentals, you got Eric Gillette plays on here. It's actually Steve Morse played on one song, which I didn't know until I got this. I actually ran the second track. And amazingly, Mike Portnoy is not involved in this at all, which I just found a little odd. I thought he'd always been involved in almost anything, but so that was kind of funny. You got some harmonica, we got saxophone, we got all kinds of extra stuff on here that he doesn't use a lot in his other stuff. French horn. I'm just kind of reading down through all the credits here. String quartet on several of the tracks, so you got a lot of extra stuff on here that maybe he had done in the past, covered as a keyboard part, but now it's actually the actual instruments that he was trying to imitate or emulate on any of his old stuff. As far as and that the music style is like, this is kind of hard to follow. It's not an easy, relaxing listen. You want to sit down and put this on as something that you're going to pay attention to. And I honestly was having trouble following the storyline and sitting down just listening to it. My mind was wandering all over the place, and not because I was bored with it, just because it took so many twists and turns that I was just not. I guess I wasn't in the right frame of mind to sit down and listen to this one. I had no idea what it was going to be like. I had some idea, but it took more turns than I expected, let's put it that way. In the middle, it gets weird. It does this choir thing in the middle, or just kind of like, I thought the album was actually over, and then it kicked back in for a couple more songs, because, I shouldn't say I knew there was more to come, but it felt like the album was ending in the middle for some reason. And I don't know, the flow of it wasn't very good. So I probably won't be listening to this one anytime soon. It's nice to have. It's nice to hear what he did. I'm sure there's people out there that will appreciate this a lot more than I did, and will probably follow the storyline a little bit better. That's why I said maybe I was the wrong person to review this one, but I guess the reason I'm doing it is because if there's somebody out there also like me that didn't know what to expect from it, may want to know before going into this, and maybe get yourself prepared as to what to listen to. I'm sure I'll come back to it at some point knowing what to expect and enjoy it more. But so just kind of like a heads up, I guess, is what this one is. It's not your typical Neal Morse release. This is definitely more like a theatrical listen. I could picture this being done as a performance. So maybe someday that's what we'll get out of this, and have like a video performance of it. I think I would actually enjoy that more than just sitting listening to it. But anyway, tell me what you guys think. This one's a little bit different for me as far as what I thought I was going to get. So, yeah, feel free to share your views on this one as well, or anything you think he's done in the past. And as always, like, share, subscribe, and appreciate all the comments. It's cool to see what everybody else thinks of this stuff too. So, talk to you guys later. See ya.